Everybody, what is up? I'm George Mossey. It's going to be the George Mossey Show, Tell All, Part 1, No Limits After Show. Tonight was crazy, right? So we went onto our apps to stream the show. You guys know I stream the show, and no show. So it's been a little crazy because we've been trying to figure out how to watch the show. So tonight I had to watch the show live, which I haven't done in years, legitimately in years. So commercials, which was not okay. But we got to watch it. Hopefully, everybody at home got to watch it because I do realize that some people cut the cord. The only reason, hey Deb, the only reason why I even have cable is because HOA forces me. Hey, okay.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what's going on. That wouldn't be the first weird thing to happen today, right? Like, I was watching commercials like it was like the 90s, right? I was like, what is going on?
I know we're getting started.
Yeah.
This is Willow.
Aww.
Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Everybody, congratulate my co-host, Cara. She has just become, I don't want to call you a grandma. You're too cool and young for that. But
and I'll be grandma. I'll be whatever her first word is.
Aw.
Well,
that is
you like the G word, huh? I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't want to ever be called the G word until I'm like 70 or 80.
Don't matter to me. Whatever. If her first word is that's my name.
Aw, we're so happy for you.
Thank
I
you.
know this has been a huge event for you. I remember when you told me that your daughter was expecting.
Yes.
And I remember seeing all the boxes and everything you bought.
So son and his wife, and she was 9 pounds 5 ounces and 21 inches. She's a big girl.
Was bigger, yeah, that's a big baby. Oh my gosh!
Congratulations!
Thank
Congratulations! I know we will be seeing more of Willow very soon.
Oh,
I know
yes.
that.
A lot more.
So I want to get your reactions, first of all, on the house. The house was in New Jersey. It was really beautiful. This was in December. It was cold and snowing. But Angela and Michael did not stay in the house. So we got everybody minus Angela and Michael. So what were your idea and thoughts on the scenes in the house? I was expecting more. I mean, obviously, after they filmed day one, because, these tell-alls take up to 3 days, they're going to go back to the house, and that's probably where all the tensions will go. But they were pretty tame, right? With the drinks flowing, there wasn't a lot of real honest feelings coming out, right? Jasmine did say, I don't want to hug you to Ed, but I can't even hold that against her. Nobody wants to hug that man, right? Like, honestly, the heartless of one of them all, if you're going to be mean to somebody, you got to be mean to Ed. It's just part of the deal.
Yeah. I could be mean to Ed. Nobody called it out better than Emily, though, when she said, Angela doesn't want to come because she doesn't want anyone to hear Michael talk. She's not wrong.
She nailed it, right? And you notice anytime Sean or anybody asked Michael a question, he couldn't get anything out. Because I noticed everybody, I said it too on X or Twitter, I was like, every time he tries to answer a question or explain anything, she doesn't let him talk. And she's like, oh, I'm sick of you making it seem like you're such a nice guy. And I was like, I don't really think Michael's just a super nice guy. Like, I never once thought that Michael was just this innocent, nice human being that did nothing wrong. I honestly do believe Michael has some shady stuff going on, right? Like, I think
he has shady stuff going on.
Like, I don't know why she's under the impression that we think that he's an angel and she's just this evil bitch. Like, I don't know why she thinks that we're one-sided on this. We think both of them have issues, right? Like, I thought that's where we all landed. Angela's got issues, Michael's got issues, and together they're just a hot-ass mess, right?
Yeah, together.
Yeah, but
I think separately, I think he's a really good person who's put up with a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
I also think it's time for her to retire that sexy necklace.
And on top of that, too, I mean, she makes her own self look bad. She cannot talk in a normal voice. Every time she talks, she has to be screaming. Like I'm with everybody else. Like I've always said, if anybody on 90 Day Fiance across the board, Michael deserves that green card.
100%.
I don't care what that man did. He deserves it.
He put in the work, it's like a contractor. You give them half the money up front, and then if they complete the job, you give them the rest. And I feel like he completed the job. He has to get his payment, his deposit back. Like he completed the job. He should get the green card. And again, she wants everybody to know what happened. And it's like same with Ed too. Like everybody wants everyone to know what happened, but I don't understand why they believe that we're only gonna listen to their side. Because like Ed's like, oh, you have to deal with your issues. She does, but you have to deal with your issues too. And it's like you can't just blame and project all of the issues of a failed relationship on one person. I feel like Ed and Angela, ironically, they were befriending of each other at the tell-all. They're both doing that. They're projecting all of the issues and the failed relationship, the failed marriage, all the money issues. It's all one person's issue. And it's not.
The best couple. That's the best 90-day couple.
Angela and Ed?
Yes.
I mean, I would love to
together. Put that shit show together, get them off the TV, done, and done.
Do you believe, okay, so here's another question. Do you believe that Angela and Ed are capable, not together, just like individuals as people, are they capable of having a healthy relationship?
No.
I don't think that, right. I
No.
think that they wouldn't understand what a healthy relationship looks like. And I think that when you don't know what a healthy relationship is or looks like, it's not surprising that you've never been in one. Yeah. Right. And I think that Angela, you know, she's explained it many times. She's never felt love. She's never been in a good relationship. And Ed is the same story. And it's like, you have to remember when your story always sounds one-sided, some of the reason of why that story keeps happening to you belongs to you. It's not always the other person. And I know that's really difficult because you don't want to ever look at yourself as there's something wrong with me. But when the same situation repeats itself over and over and over to you, I know it's hard to place blame on yourself, but sometimes you're picking people to hurt you, right? Yeah, exactly, Queen. It's she says that they sabotage. It's self-sabotage. Yeah, you pick a person that you know is not going to be good for you because subconsciously this is the type of person that you think you want to be with. And I think Angela and Ed are a perfect example of picking the wrong types of people. And I don't even want to say that Liz is the wrong type of person. I think Ed looks for a woman that he knows has self-esteem and self-worth issues, and he preys on that, and then he tears her down completely to the point where she doesn't think that she deserves happiness, and then he's locked into that relationship. And I think that's the most disgusting, so horrible thing that you can do to a person, not just a woman, a man too. Like, to tear someone down and make them feel like they deserve that way that you're treating them is just crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
So, wait. Sophie and Rob drove in together, but she wanted to come in the house separately. So I wanted to get your thoughts.
She wanted to play it off as if they didn't show up together. They're not together. We already know her little bullshit. She needs to go sit down some damn where. I can't stand her.
So you believe that too? Because I was like, they surely showed up together. Their luggage is in the same car. She's like, oh, I need a minute. I was like, it's 30 degrees in New Jersey right now. You really need a minute, or you just want people to think you came in a separate vehicle than he did. And I strongly believe that, because I feel like Sophie has always been trying to leave her options open since she got here. Like, she tells Rob, like, oh, we need to work on things. And then she doesn't call him for 3 months. And it's like, how are you working on things if you don't call the person for 3 months and you're living with somebody else? You're out living your best life. He doesn't even know which apartment you live in.
But right? I also feel she wanted to come in alone so that she had the grand entrance of everybody. Oh, Sophie, and give her all the attention. If she came in with Rob, then it was hi, Rob and Sophie, not just hi, Sophie. And she's got to be that center of attention all the freaking time.
I noticed that too. I noticed. Yeah. Also, General says, I read that they were not together. She kind of said at this tell-all, she was like, we're kind of just here as friends. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
But she was talking, I think, to Ashley, and she was like, because they were like, are you together? Are you like working it out? And she was just kind of like, we're kind of just here as friends. We're just hanging out. And I feel like that's kind of what their relationship has been since she got here. I don't think it's ever been a real relationship. And we're finding out that a lot of these couples aren't even having sex, which, are you married if you're not? And I know the ongoing meme is if you're married, you're not supposed to be having sex. But these are younger, right? These are younger people. This is that meme applies to people who've been married for 20 plus years, not people who've been married for less than a year. So I'm really confused as to why, like, for instance, Gino and Jasmine aren't having sex. He said 6 months, she said 8 months. And
but she's only been here for 7 months.
Well, is that true?
I wrote it down. She said when she first sat down, she said she'd been here for 7 months. Gino hasn't been working for 7 months. It was 7 months, 7 months, 7 months. Then somebody said, how long has it been since you guys had sex? She says 8 months.
But Gina said that they asked how long that they had been married, and Gino said almost a year.
Yeah.
So when was the tell-all film then?
Yeah, she got married here.
Yeah.
Right? It was in Michigan. So I'm confused. You're right. I'm very confused by the timeline because she's definitely been here more than 7 months. Because she was physically here for the last tell-all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm really confused. Or these shows overlapped, because I have heard that filming of these shows can overlap. You can be filming more than one show. Like, for instance, when Robin Sophie
happened, we were talking about that happening because it was back to back, just like with The Single Life and this one where John was on both. They overlap.
Yeah, you're right.
He said that they've been married almost a year because they asked. That's what not Alexis, but what's his name? Colby and
Emily.
Tice's husband.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. That because they asked him how long y'all been married, and he said almost a year.
Yeah, so all of their numbers, there's like 5 different numbers, and none of them matched up.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they didn't want them to give the real dates because we would figure out that the shows were overlapping. But I mean, we're not stupid, right? Like, we know what's going on. It's very easy to tell, what's going on and what's not with these people. We know that this was filmed in December, right? I'm pretty sure December was when it was filmed. It was or January, because I think it was a month after Michael arrived. And we know he got here in December, right before Christmas. So we saw that on the show. So we know for a fact, when this was. So I don't know why they're trying to make it seem like we can't add.
And then they had they're together, and whenever we already know that him and Angela ain't even together, even at the tell-all, they wasn't even together.
Yeah.
Because he had already left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you realize they arrived separately at the tell-all. Angela arrived after Michael. It was so obvious, and they're trying to really play it off as though we can't figure out what's going on. And the reason why they didn't arrive at the house the night before, Michael says, is because they were fighting. But I think it's more so because Angela knows he was going to arrive and he was going to have time alone with other cast members where he could tell them his side of the story. Because if you notice, we've never heard it.
Yeah.
Angela goes live. She goes and does her thing on social media. She tells everybody every ounce of information about what went wrong with her and Michael. Michael's never said anything. And I think it scares the hell out of her to think that he can actually tell his side and people will listen. Because if you notice, when Sean tried to ask Michael questions, she was like, shut up. Shut the hell up. Stop talking. She didn't want him to say anything at all. And, if you didn't do anything wrong, if you're a victim, there's nothing that anybody could say to make you look like a bad person, because you're honestly a victim in this situation. You didn't do anything, but I feel like she's really shielding his side of the story, and that can only last for so long.
Yeah.
Eventually, somebody is going to give him a place to talk.
Even beginning, when he came in and he sat down with introduced himself, everybody's so happy to meet him. Then she comes in and just starts attacking him immediately. Doesn't say hi to anybody else. Just comes in and starts attacking him. This guy can't catch a break.
Well, Deb says they all went back home together from the tell-all. He left in February. So yeah, you're right. He did leave. It was right before Valentine's Day, I believe, is when the story broke that he was missing. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
So yeah, he probably went home for about a month after that. But hey, Josh and Lily, it's very obvious that they were not in a good place watching the way that this was filmed. So I can only imagine what was going on in that house for that month, because the way that she spoke to him and treated him was it was disturbing, right? Like the look on everyone, especially Lauren, when she's yelling and screaming and accusing him of cheating. Even Lauren, the look of uncomfortable, when you're watching somebody literally go at it in front of a full room of strangers. Let's just be real, they don't know each other that well. It's really scary. If that's the way that she behaved with other people around, what do you think was going on in the house with the door closed, with the blinds, with the curtains pulled back? What was really going on? And Michael did an interview. Did you see his Entertainment Tonight interview that went out last week?
Yeah.
Where he was able to talk a little bit about things, but he's still leaving things very vague. Like, he would say that he doesn't blame her and he doesn't regret coming here. Like, he was being really vague, and I really wanted to hear what he really had to say. But we have to remember, The Last Resort hasn't aired, So they have to save a lot of that real information for that show.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting tell-all, though, because I felt like they got really deep into the juicy stuff early. So it makes me wonder what we're going to encounter in the next 4 parts, right? Because getting the Ed and Liz and Jason thing out of the way first, I thought was really ballsy. You know, you would have to have a lot of good content to follow that up, because, you know, Jason has been a secret for months. We're not dumb, we knew, but like they've been keeping him a secret for months. So the fact that they brought him out front and center in the first part, I was like, well, they must have some really good footage, you know, from the tell-all, because that seemed like a part 3 or 4 scene, right? Like in my opinion, I was like, so if we're getting this all, and Gino and Jasmine were in the first part, I was like, so what's really gonna happen in part 4, right? Like, is somebody gonna get arrested? You know, like what's gonna, like, well, I'm expecting.
My question is Jason gonna be in the house now?
I hope so.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in any of the clips, but that could be very intentional, right? That could be very intentional. So it's very
because
possible.
there ain't no sense in bringing him out if he's not going to be in the house.
Right.
I mean, what are they going to do? Make him fly him back home or make him stay in a hotel?
Yeah, and they just unveiled him tonight, so they couldn't show him.
They throwing a little plot twist there, but I do have to say, I was hoping when they brought Jason out, because we all knew that he was going to be there. I was hoping when Jason came out that we were going to see a little bit more than what we seen. I wasn't happy with what I seen.
I think we will.
Yeah, I think that
it was too calm.
Yeah,
it was too calm.
Like maybe a green room, you know, where they all eat together and everything. I feel like if he's still there and Liz is there and Ed is there, it's very possible we'll see more interaction between the two of them. And I know that Jason has he has a government type job, so I know that he can't be on there physically fighting anyone or anything. So I know that he has to keep his cool, but you could tell that he wanted to. I could hear in his voice, he was just so angry and he really wanted to put that guy in his place. But I know, you know, when you're in the army or in the military, you have those type of jobs, you have to behave in a way more acceptable level of professionalism than just, you know, anyone. So I get his frustration, because imagine coming face to face, like Liz's mom, she had to come face to face after he said, stop, you abandoning your daughter and you should have raised her better. Can you imagine? Like, I would be terrified to come face to face to a mother that I said that to.
Yeah.
Like I would need security. I would need like armed guards, because the one thing you don't discuss negatively about a woman, especially to her face, is her parenting skills, right? Like that's literally that's not even the jugular. That's just like basically asking to get hurt.
Yep.
So her coming on and keeping her cool, I respect her too. You know, she did say she wanted to end his life on TV, which, you know, you can't do that. But I understand her frustration. I definitely know, you know, watching her daughter go through that had to be traumatic. You know, no parent wants to see their child make that type of mistake.
Yeah.
And get that deep into a mistake. Like we're talking 3, 4, 5 years of a mistake with this guy. So it's a light at the end of the tunnel for her. So I'm happy for Liz and Jason, and I heard that they moved in together, because I know they talked about it on the tell-all. I heard that they are together in Washington State, which good for them, right? I feel like any positive progression, I applaud. You know, we have to applaud people's growth. We always want to focus on their negative and their mistakes. You have to also applaud growth. She's grown, and you know, she handled herself really well in the house. And you know, I think that it takes a real good person in your life to see that your past relationships were bad. And I think that she's to that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to talk about Jasmine and Gino and this pornography thing, because it's come up earlier in the season and it's back. Oh, also wanted to say Nicole and Mahmoud weren't there, which we already knew. But what did you think would have been the atmosphere if they did come? Because somebody said this online, and I thought about it. They were like, can you imagine if Nicole and Mahmoud did show up? And I think that they would have caused a lot of riff-raff, right? Because they both are really, really unable to accept criticism. So I was thinking, I was like, well, if they would have came, it would have been like Angela 4.0, right? Because Mahmoud, first of all, you can't criticize him in any way. He snaps. And then Nicole is the same way. So I was like, maybe it's a negative we didn't get them, because things would have probably escalated really quickly, because a lot of people
I'm
would
pretty sure her and Angela would have gotten to a fist fight
Whoa,
because,
yeah.
Angela's going to throw it at her, and then Nicole, she just, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I will be very surprised. I know they haven't shown it if it's going to happen or not, but I'm going to be very surprised if Jasmine and Angela don't get into it.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's coming. I mean, and I think Jasmine said it on her way in the house. She was like, any human being would have a problem getting along with her. So I think everybody is going to.
Now that you said coming into the house, and Jasmine just reminded me of her comment. If Gino bought me a house like this, I guarantee all of our marital problems would disappear in the bat of an eye.
I heard that.
Because it's big enough for her to sneak in Dane, and he can bang her head up against.
True, very true.
I mean, it's big enough, so she can sneak somebody in.
Well,
very true.
It says a lot when you say that the biggest issues you have are, intimacy and support and independence. And then in the same breath, you say, well, if he would just buy me a big ass house, I'd look past all that. Yep. It really does say a lot about what you expect, your expectations in a relationship. And, it basically shows that you're a gold digger. Oh, I wanted to bring up something. So apparently Jasmine posted a wish list online. It's an Amazon wish list. And it's for Wansei's birthday, which is coming up. Happy birthday, Wansei, if it has or hasn't passed. I'm not sure. But she listed a bunch of items on there, and there was like a Nintendo Switch, like a $190 item on there. There are other stuff too. So I wanted to get your opinion and your thoughts on that. Some people were saying it is not okay to ask people to buy your kids birthday presents or Christmas presents. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you think that it's okay for her to post that? Because let's be real, when the item arrives in Panama, it's probably just going to say to Wansei from mom. It's not going to say that somebody else bought it. So how do y'all feel about that?
I can't believe she did it. I was absolutely disgusted, to be honest.
I'm the same way. I can't. That's just wrong. That is just wrong.
Well, another argument people were throwing at me were Brandon and Mary do it, so why can't Jasmine? And I'm thinking, well, Brandon and Mary are like teenagers who have zero.
But everybody knows Brandon and Mary are scammers. They scam everybody. They lie about everything. I mean, all the way down to about Mary having cancer. I mean, anything to scam people. So Jasmine's a grown ass adult.
Yeah. Well, right. She's a grown-up adult with kids, and a lot of people were just saying it's exploitive of your fans, like to ask them to purchase something that I think, in my opinion, she could buy herself. I don't think Jasmine is hurting for any money. Yeah. And I think I said this on Shabuti's podcast the other day. I think what bothers me is when rich people try to take advantage. If you really can't afford something and you really need help, I respect you if you have to ask for help, because it took a lot of courage to even ask. But if you could afford it yourself, you just don't want to buy it, I think that bothers me more. Yeah. Because it's like you have the money, you can afford it, you're fortunate enough to be doing well, but you still want to take advantage of other people and get something for free. And I think that irritates me even more.
She's got 58 seasons of 90 Day Fiance money coming in. Like,
yeah.
And then she has her OnlyFans too. Yeah. And then she's got Dane sending her money. So, I mean, come on. And then she's probably got all these other sugar daddies that she's still talking to. Come on. That woman got money.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
All right. We're going to end that. Oh, wait. You know what? We didn't talk about the porn thing. So she said that Gino is watching porn and he's addicted to porn. So I want to ask you this question. What's the difference between consuming or watching porn and being addicted to porn? Because America has a pandemic when it comes to pornography, right? Like it's overly accessible. And I know that there's recent laws that are trying to make it less acceptable, but let's be realistic. Is it working? Probably not. So do you think that Gino is legitimately addicted to porn, or do you think that this is just something that Jasmine is using to make it look less like their relationship is failing because of her actions or attitude?
Personally, I think he's an actual man that that just watches porn because he's not having sex with his wife. And now let's be real. Jasmine's beautiful to look at from afar. But if I was locked in a house with her, one of us wouldn't be coming out. And it wouldn't be me.
Well, Gino actually said that. He was like, I thought I loved you and I thought you were beautiful. Yep. And then I think after he got, I think it's her attitude. But is it okay for her to have an attitude? Because this is another question. Because people on Twitter were like, if I hadn't been touched in 8 months, I would be pissed off too.
But
so like,
that would be one thing if she just got the attitude because she hasn't been touched in 8 months. She's been a bitch from the get-go. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, because Gino did say in the beginning he would have sex with her even when they were angry or fighting and they weren't getting along, and that didn't work. Her attitude never changed. And do you feel that Gino is using sex or withholding sex as like a punishment for her behavior? Because some people were saying that he's using not having sex with her as a way to try to get her to better her attitude. Do you think that that's true?
I mean, if I was stuck in that position, I'd be trying anything. I'd be like, something's got to change because I'm about ready to pack you in a plastic bag and ship you off via the ocean.
Well, they're not sleeping.
What it is, too, is because whenever Jasmine was over there in Panama, Jasmine controlled everything. Now Jasmine's over here, she's pissed because she can't control anything. And Gino has her right where he wants her because how she treated him whenever she was over there. Because let's be real, she treated him like, she treated him like a dog. 100. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, she cheated on him. She done like, how many times did she get in his face and say really mean things to him and told him to his face that she cheated on him and that with her ex and he was a lot better than Gino. So you gotta you gotta take all that. So whenever Gino got her over here, he's giving it back to her what she gave to him. She's one of them that can dish it out, but she can't take it.
See, and I totally agree. I absolutely agree with that. When she made the comment that her ex is way better in bed, that ruined everything. Like, if your ex said that or if your girlfriend said that to you, can you imagine every time you had sex with that person, that's all you would think of?
That they're not good enough. Thinking about the other person.
Literally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you think that it's not necessarily he's withholding, but he's legitimately just disgusted?
Yeah.
Disgusted, yeah, because that's kind of what I felt too. I was like, it's not that he doesn't think she's beautiful physically. I think he's just disgusted by her actions. And I think that now that he's gotten to fully know her, when she was in Panama and he was in Michigan, he didn't know who she really was. But now that she's here full time and he can see her 24/7, every aspect of who she is, I think he realized, I didn't know this person before I married her. I didn't know this person before. And now the person that I met that's here living in my house, I don't like this person. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where he's at. Because let's be realistic. If I don't like somebody, we're not going to be intimate. Yeah. We're not even going to hang out. And he's kind of in this he's in this situation where he's in a relationship living with a person that he doesn't even like.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why, because they're like, Patrick is like, oh, just bang your wife. And I'm like, I don't think he really considers her his wife.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy because if Thais were to tell Patrick that her ex is better than him, Patrick would want to have sex with Thais no more either. Yeah. Because when someone messes you up like that tells you that they've cheated on you, that their ex is better or they've had better or whatever it may be, you're not going to want to be intimate with them no more because all you can think about is, well, are they actually being intimate with me or are they being intimate with this other person?
Yeah, their fantasy.
So, that's wrong on Patrick because if Patrick has never been through that, then he don't need to talk.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, it's funny that because Patrick made a comment, he was like, I don't want to compare myself to everyone, but we're just better. And I was like, so you really don't have any room to comment on these people's issues because if you don't have any major issues you can't really judge other people's issues because you don't even know what a real fight is. Like the biggest fight he and Thais had was him forcing her to FaceTime her dad to tell them they were going to get married. Like, right? Thais and Patrick get along very, very well. Like, honest, and if they do fight, I would never know. No one would ever see that, and I don't think that they do really fight. You know, kind of like with Emily and Kobe. Do they fight? I don't think that they do. They're like 3 babies in a 2.5-year marriage. They're not fighting, right? Like they're doing things, but they're definitely not fighting. So
they're really good at makeup sex.
Right. I feel like
I don't know. I don't know anybody better than Ashley and Manuel.
That's true. That is true.
They're fighting all the time, but nothing seems to be unfixable with sex. Like in their opinion, you know, whatever he does, him scamming her, stealing money, it's fine. As long as they bang it out at the end of the night, they'll wake up and see another day. And I also think that's a pretty toxic situation to be in too. It's kind of like where there's a meme. It's just like a little girl, there's a house on fire and she's standing like in front of the house with a box of matches and just like smiling. And it's kind of, I feel like that's, you're leaving all of your problems to solve themselves and you're just fine. And I feel like
was anybody else completely surprised by Ashley's commentary? Like the shit she was saying was good and it made sense. And she was like, I've never heard her make sense, actually, through all of it. And she was making sense with everyone else's relationship, but her own.
Yeah. I sent out a tweet that said for the first time, I can't find it now, for the first time ever, I am 100% in agreement with Ashley.
Yep.
And it was the very first time that I've ever said that, and it'll probably be the last. Yeah. But a lot of times people do have a clear outlook on relationships that they aren't in. I've learned that as long as it's not their relationship, they can see the red flags, they can see the issues, they can even see solutions. But when it comes to her relationship, her mom, sister, everybody, us, the whole world, everybody has been trying to help her and she sees and understands nothing. But yeah, she was making good commentary, she was making good comments, she was being supportive, she was telling people advice that I agreed with. And when that happens, it's like, so there is a working brain in there, right? Like there is a working brain, so it's just her life that she can't seem to get under control. If she was giving advice to other people, I would say she was qualified to do that, right? Based on what she was saying.
Yeah, I was impressed tonight, but we also haven't got to her shitstorm yet either.
Yeah, we all know that's just gonna go down the toilet real fast.
Well, yeah, I think that everybody there is probably, well, not everybody. Patrick and Thais are fine. And I'm pretty sure Lauren and Alexi are fine. But everybody else there has some issues that are going to come out, right?
Literally in my notes for everybody, I have nothing for Lauren and Alexi. And I have nothing for Patrick and Thais.
Oh, me neither. I remember my one tweet when Lauren and Alexi arrived, because they were last to arrive. I forgot. I didn't notice that they weren't there until they arrived.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's not good. I should have noticed that they weren't there, because the first thing I thought, where's Angela and Michael? Like, I noticed. Yeah. But when Lauren and Alexi arrived last, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize they weren't there. They're not going to bring anything to the scene. Yeah. They're just going to be there. They just exist. And
the only thing that they're going to bring to the scene is Lauren and Ed. I mean, with the fight, that's the only drama that they can actually bring. I mean,
yeah,
the boring.
Well, Lauren has been pretty vocal with her feelings towards Ed for years. So I totally know this is real. This isn't fake for the camera. She's never cared for this man in the way that he treats women. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of Lauren, but she's right. You know, it's not okay that this man has been on TV for this long, the way that he treats women. And did you notice that Ed was really quiet when Jason came out? Like he didn't really want to be that nasty, vile person to a man. He just wants to be that nasty, vile person to women. And I think that irritates me more. Because it's like, I've heard of pick on somebody your own size, right? Like, stop. I hate seeing a man taking advantage of a woman or making a woman feel small or making a woman feel like she can't defend herself because of his size or whatever, because he's a man. When Jason came out, he didn't have a lot to say. But, you know, before Jason came out, he's talking about her being emotionally unstable and she has a bad, you know, he's just going for the juggler. But the second a man came out who's ready to go toe to toe, Ed has nothing to say. And I think that that says a lot. It's like you only feel that you can treat women that way. And sooner or later, there's going to be a guy who's going to give you a nice jab to the throat and you're going to run the hard way, right?
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's not.
Nobody's
not on Ed.
Not on Ed.
Well, you get in the vicinity, right? In the vicinity. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
But that's how a narcissist is. A narcissist is not going to stand up to another man. They're not going to do it because they're scared. They're cowards. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So Rob and Sophie aren't having sex. Gino and Jasmine aren't having sex. We know Kobe and Emily are. She's like pregnant. She's probably pregnant right now. Honestly, she's probably pregnant right now.
Yeah.
And Lauren and Alexi probably are. They have lots of kids. So I think that
Michael and Angela are not.
Well, they're not even sleeping in the same room. So Gino and Jasmine weren't sleeping in the same room at home and they wouldn't sleep in the same room at the tell-all. So that makes me think they probably broke up before the tell-all, but contractually obligated to show up to the tell-all. It's part of your contract. Same with Rob and Sophie. I feel like they were contractually obligated to show up because it was part of their contract. But I think that with Rob and Sophie, they've always been friends. Like, they can tolerate each other's presence. I don't think Gino and Jasmine can really tolerate being around each other.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten to that point because apparently Jasmine wanted to get dressed and Gino wouldn't leave. And she was like, I can't get dressed in front of, or undressed in front of this guy. And I'm like, the guy that you married? Like the guy that you've been
begging? But he said the same thing. He said almost the same thing. When she said, I never see him naked. He said, I'm not comfortable being naked in front of you. And she said that also. So like,
but that goes back to the way she's treated him. I mean, would you want to be would you want to get naked in front of someone who has tore you down mentally, said that you look disgusting, that you disgust them, that you know that their ex is better than you in every way? I mean, I wouldn't want to get naked in front of somebody like that.
Do you think that Jasmine has said things like that to Gino when he was naked? Like, do you think that she was like, oh, my ex was in better shape than you, or my ex had better body? Because the fact that he was hiding being naked from his wife for so long, because she's like, oh, I've never seen him fully naked. And I'm thinking, that's weird, right? Like, that's such a strange thing. But when you always have something negative to say about a person, their physical appearance, their body, their performance.
When you're with somebody you love, one negative comment about your physical appearance will affect you for life, even if you fix it. If my husband came in and he said, your butt is gigantic or your butt is not big enough, I would be so hyper focused on my butt forever and I would never let him see it bare, ever. It's just stick in your head forever. That's the one person you love, you're committed to for life, and they shot you down, and it would just never be the same.
That's true.
But God rest his soul if he ever compared me to an ex.
Right? Like, see, first of all, when I know this is going to sound really immature, but when I'm dating someone, I like for us to forget that we ever dated other people. So, like, we don't need to bring it up in conversation. If I accidentally take you to the same place that they took you, we don't need to bring that up. You know, like, it's there, that relationship is in the past. I know it's immature, but that's just, you don't ever want to think of the person you really love being loved and happy by another human being. Absolutely. Like, it just makes you feel insecure. And it's just something that we are as humans. We don't want to think that that person that you have dedicated so much love and time to could be happy with somebody other than you. It destroys you inside, right? Because it's like you want that to be your person, but the possibility that there could be another person out there for them, it messes with your head. So I want to talk about this one statement that Angela made. She said, "You are not to be out of my sight." She said that to Michael at the tell-all, and she doesn't want him conversing with the cast members. Like, she wants him in her sight. and she wants to control everything that he does and says to everybody at the tell-all, right? Like, she doesn't want him to like go to the bathroom. Like, I feel like she's gonna follow him around, and she's gonna control everything that happens there. And again, how do you guys feel about that? Because everybody at the tell-all was really shocked by that. Saying, like, even Sean was like, "Wow, you know, like, wow, this is a
jail so fast. If I was there, I would be. They would have to arrest my ass on the stage. As soon as I heard her saying that to him, I would just get up and knock her dentures down her throat and call it a day. Like, that would be a wrap.
I can't
Like
believe.
like I said, the guilty dog always barks.
Well,
Because that's why she don't want him to open his mouth, because he's going to tell the truth. Michael is a lot of things, but I don't think Michael, I mean, he may have lied about some stuff, but Michael may be a lot of things, but I would believe Michael before I believed Angela.
Absolutely.
Why? Because of her actions. If you have nothing to hide, then so what if he's out mingling with everybody else? If you're telling the truth about stuff, so what if he's out talking to other castmates? Why do you have to have him on a short leash? Because you know he's going to tell the truth, and everybody's going to, well, we already see her for her true colors, but if once he tells his side of the story, the truth, then people are gonna like put two and two together. You see what I'm saying?
she believes.
Told him from day one he couldn't have social media. I mean, God forbid if he had a social media presence. There was that one moment that he did, and all hell broke loose.
Right.
So, because he had a voice on social media, he could post something. He could expose her. She just, gosh, she's so crazy. She's so crazy. She just needs to meet her match, because all she is loud. That's all she is. She's not
I've never
scary. She's just loud.
Well, I've never understood how she thinks that she can silence him. Like, she's the only one who can speak, and she only says negative things about him. And it's like, you know, even if you go to court, you get your chance to talk about the person, and then the other person gets a chance to talk about you. Like, that's literally how it works. Everybody gets a chance. Like, if you try to get divorced and you want to say, oh, this person is horrible, you get to go up there and talk to the judge and tell them how horrible they are. But guess what? They also get to go up and tell the judge how horrible you are. This is literally how it's been.
That's what I'm saying about her being loud. So he says, no, no, no. And she's 10 octaves higher than him. She's got to be louder to shut him down. So finally he just surrenders, shuts down, and that's a wrap. She gets the last word because everybody just wants her to shut the fuck up.
She can't have a civilized conversation. She's always got to be screaming. Like, who does that?
I don't understand why she brought him here, because she keeps saying, like, oh, I should have never brought you here. You should have stayed there. And before he got here, she was like, oh, he's a liar. He's a cheater. He's a scammer. And, you know, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but if you knew all of this information and you had the option to just not buy him a ticket, right? He could stay where he was. Why did you go out of your way to bring him here if you knew? Because she's like, oh, he's been cheating on me. And, you know, I don't know who the person is in New Jersey that she's talking about. Apparently there's a woman in New Jersey that he's involved with. I don't know that, because since he's been here, has he been to New Jersey? I know he's been to Indiana. He's been to Texas.
I think it's her.
Who?
They sent you that picture.
So you think that's the woman that's in New Jersey? So who was he with in Indiana and then Texas?
I don't know, but I think the one that I sent you is the picture of the girl in New Jersey.
She's pretty. She's pretty. I mean, I totally... I think that if that's the truth, then... Okay, so I have a question. If any of this stuff is true, is Angela's reaction in any way, shape, or form warranted? Say he does have a woman in New Jersey and he did scam her. Is it okay that she's lashing out at him, or do you think that it's her fault for bringing him here? Like, how do you feel?
He paid the price. We've said it. He suffered through this shit for 7 years. He wins. He wins all the bingo cards. He wins all the Powerball. He wins it all. Welcome to America, Michael.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's her fault, because we already know that. I mean, yeah, he cheated on her. We
Yeah.
already know that he was talking to other women. We already know he cheated on her. If you know that your spouse is cheating on you, why are you going to stay with him?
Yep.
So if you go back to them over and over and over again, then you deserve everything they do to you.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you're the stupid one going back. Just saying.
See, I agree. I agree with you because the clip they showed us tonight was literally from the tell-all from last year of her saying that she got voice notes about him cheating. So she had this information, let's say a year and a half ago.
Yep.
So before she brought him here, before she continued the K1 or the spousal visa process, before any of this happened, all of the information that she had was available to her, and she still brought him here. So, I mean, if he is a liar and a cheater and a scammer, you enabled him to do those things by bringing him here. Like, if you had all of the information in front of you and you still made this decision and the decision doesn't work out, whose fault is the situation that you're in? You know, like, because you had the information in front of you, you still made a decision to take a shot on it, knowing what you knew, because on the last tell-all you knew that he was cheating. We literally heard the voice notes. It was his voice. There's no denying it wasn't AI. It was legitimately real, and you still decided to bring him all the way over here, and then it didn't work out, surprisingly to you for some reason, and now you're still the victim, and he's still a horrible person. And it's like, cheating is cheating regardless, but you knew he was cheating on you a year and a half ago, and you were totally fine with it.
Also, in that scene, who's she complaining to on the phone that he was cheating?
Skylar, right?
No, to the guy in Canada.
Was she on the phone with the guy from Canada?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that's who she was talking to.
So, and he was
They
on
were
all
both
kinds of different...
cheating on each other. At the end of the day, they were both cheating on each other. So, but I think she brought him over here because of her ego, because she did not want Skylar to prove her wrong.
100%.
Yeah. She said that when she was arriving, she was like, I never thought in a million years that Michael and I would be at a tell-all and he would physically be here. I think she has something to prove. Yeah. I think you're both right. I think she has something to prove because out of all the 90 Day Fiancé couples in the history of the show, her getting him here took the longest. Well, actually, no, I have to say Rachel and John Waters, before they broke up, they would have been the longest that anyone ever waited. But she was second to that. And I think she had something to prove. She wanted to prove that it could happen for her. And I think that overshadowed being in love and trust and wanting the relationship to work. It was more so, I want to tell the people who said I was wasting my time and money that I wasn't wasting my time and money. And I think,
but
unfortunately,
she actually was, because she brought him over here and she still wasted her time and money.
She's out. I think she said 30K, and he's out with his.
He's getting all her TLC checks. She's still all over everything, all over TikTok, making money on there, making money on her Instagram. She's all over the place making money, and she doesn't have to work a day in her freaking life. She's getting,
and he gets free money for the next 10 years because she has to financially support him for 10 years.
Yes, and I love that for him.
I mean, they've been in a relationship for 7 years, marriage for 7 years. So it's almost like he gets a year of credit for each year that he was with her, right? Like he gets a year of credit.
So much more than that. Let's be real. That guy deserves so much more than that.
I do feel bad for him. I can't imagine being in a relationship where I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to have a phone. I'm not allowed to communicate. Like I don't know what that would. First of all, it's not a relationship. First of all, that's just, I don't even know what you call that. You might call it kidnapping. I'm not even sure what you would call it, but it's not a relationship. I can't imagine just being told what I can't do. Like, you can't go out, you can't have friends, he couldn't even go to the house because she didn't want him like associating with the people in the house. Like, can you imagine? Like, first of all, that is exhausting to try to control every aspect of somebody's life like that. That's exhausting. Yeah. Like, you have to plan your day, making sure that person can't do things. Like, I don't have enough time and patience to try to do that. I couldn't even imagine, right?
No, I couldn't either. I'm exhausted.
So this was the part one. Hold on, there was something else in here I thought we had to talk about. I can't remember what it was now. I mean, oh, Jasmine got her license. I think we were talking about that earlier in the season. She did get her license. She had to get a ride from a friend because she said Gino wouldn't take her to take the test. Gino refuted that and said he did take her, or he did make the appointment or whatever. What do you think about this, where she says that Gino, or Gino's family actually says that he gave up on the relationship, like he's not trying anymore?
Man,
Do you guys feel that that's true?
I'd quit too.
Do you?
Me too. I mean, who would want to be in a relationship with Jasmine or Angela? Like seriously,
Yeah.
who in their right mind would want to be in a relationship with them?
But
That's exhausting.
does it bother you that his family is on Jasmine's side, or do you think they're just on the side of what's right?
I think they're just on the side of what's right, what they see.
I mean,
I think they're on the side of what they see, but also Dana's wife has hung out with Jasmine a lot more than we ever thought possible. But during that time, all she's hearing is Gino this, Gino that, Gino this, Gino that. So she's getting one-sided Jasmine stories.
Exactly. So that was my question. Like, do you think that they should at least understand both sides before they pick a side? Because let's be real, that's his family. Mm-hmm. And they should want to know, like, if she, obviously she doesn't have any friends here when she got here. That's the only person that she could tell the negative stuff to. But Gino doesn't seem like the type to go and air his dirty laundry to everybody. I don't think he's telling everybody all of the things that they're experiencing. I don't know. I just felt like as my family, they should have been a little more reactive.
They need to be on Gino's side. But how is it that they are so much on her side when Jasmine used to talk so much bad stuff about them?
Like, she didn't even want them at the wedding. Remember that? She didn't even want them at the wedding. She said she didn't want anyone from his family there. She hated them, and she didn't even want them in their life. But she actually told them, when we get married, you can't communicate with these people anymore. Do y'all remember that? He had to end all ties.
And that's what I'm saying. Once she got here, she met these people. She pled her case. They gave her a chance, started hanging out with her. So now, especially Dana's wife is hanging out with her all the freaking time because she's the only person. So if you met her, you gave her a chance. Now she's got your phone number. So she's calling you for everything. She's calling you for a ride. She's calling you for advice. She's calling you to whine and bitch. She's calling you for all the things. And so now you're stuck. You're stuck with her. Even though you didn't want her, you're stuck. And you have to listen to this bullshit. So it starts getting in your head when you hear it constantly. You're like, wow, he really is the shit. Even though he's not, and he's your family, it's literally getting beat into your head constantly that he's doing this wrong and he's doing that wrong. So now you're on the spot. What do you say? You say what's in your head. It's been beat in there. So I don't think that she knows the whole story. So I think she's accidentally.
And two, Jasmine is, I mean, she's a narcissist as well. And narcissist knows how to convince you of anything. They're so good that they can tell you that the sky is purple. And even though you know that the sky is blue, but they have a way of convincing you that sky, no, that's blue. I mean, that's purple. You're going to believe them. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about narcissists. Jasmine is a narcissist, and Ed is a narcissist, and Angela, she's a narcissist on steroids. Yep. So,
well,
just saying.
We're gonna. Oh, we talked about the porn thing, right? Yeah, we talked about that.
Did
you?
So we're gonna see how that's posted everywhere about Gino's corn addiction.
Oh yeah, because it's corn with Jasmine. It's corn. Oh yeah,
somebody posted corn, and now it's everywhere.
Well, yeah, then it's like a meme of like corn on the cob, right? And he's like addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like corn. Who doesn't like corn? Right? I'm not addicted to it, but yeah. And Larissa got married, so that's the thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, so congrats to her. She doesn't like me, but congrats to her. She won't see this because she has me blocked. But Larissa got married. Okay, so we're gonna come back tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. The Other Way is gonna show up on streaming tomorrow. Somebody told me that Forbidden Love showed up tonight. but
Oh,
90
I'm
Day
so excited. I love that show.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that too. So we're gonna talk about the other way, then probably Forbidden Love. I'm not sure how we're gonna like work it out time schedule wise, but I want to talk about that because it's like 90 Day Fiance, but like on steroids. It's like it's like way crazier, and there's like an Amish guy on there, and he said that yeah, it's a whole thing. So yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about that. I'm excited. But yeah, that showed up on streaming on time, but the tell all did not. So I'm hoping that the glitch is fixed. So tomorrow the other way will be there on time. Watching it with commercials was torture. It was torture.
Yes.
So bad. But yeah, we're gonna come back, and there's 4 more parts to this tell all, guys. So we're just getting started.
Yeah, relax.
This was part 1.
We're only 20 weeks in.
Yeah, like we've got a whole nother month to go before we get all of the tell-all info, which it's hard to fathom because we got a lot in tonight. I was surprised that I thought it was all gonna be the house tonight, so the fact that we actually got any tell-all was surprising.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Well, maybe we'll get more drama since we got 4 more episodes. Maybe we'll actually get to see some legit drama, like some action.
Oh yeah, there was the scene where Angela was chasing after Michael in the house, and everyone told him to run. I think once Angela and Michael get into the house is where things are going to get crazy. I think that's since they weren't there the first night, it was a little more tame.
Wouldn't it?
I think once they
just humor me, but wouldn't it be awesome if Angela tripped going up the stairs and just slid back?
I laugh at people who fall. This is like a horrible thing, but I like watch fall videos, right? Like I don't know, I'm a bad person, but like I watch falling videos all the time. Or if I see someone fall in public, I usually laugh. I'll look the other way so they don't see me, but it's very funny. So if she would have fell up the stairs, because I actually fell up the stairs before, it was very painful. So I would have laughed. Yeah. So that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so make sure you're following both my co-hosts, Cara and Didi. They're tagging this video. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, GeorgeMossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in the George Mossey Show. We're going to be back tomorrow night to talk about the other way. There's still 2 people we haven't met yet, so we're probably going to get into that tomorrow. And then we're going to start up talking about this show called Forbidden Love. So if you haven't watched, you should probably, it's on Max and Discovery Plus. Catch up on that so you can understand what we're talking about and why it's so good. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Congrats again to my co-host, Cara, who became a grandma. Beautiful little girl. Everybody, congratulate her. Everybody, have a good night. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.